Okay, I think it'd be good to start with, we had 2 events occur in about the last 10 days, right? So I think it'd be good to kind of just summarize what those events were.
Not the only 2, but that's the most recent.
The 2 most serious ones.
I want to get sick of that.
So why don't we start with yours, Eric? Why don't you kind of explain what happened? The story is, as soon as the plane starts flying you, and you're not flying the plane, you've got to get that thing back. So if you're out of the pattern, and you are not in control of that airplane, and you know it as soon as this happens, none of us sit out there and not know the fact that we've lost control of this thing. You have a couple of choices. Everybody needs to have a backup plan. Okay? If Eric had a backup plan when he was out there over the lake, the backup plan is, if I get in trouble and I lose perspective on where this airplane is, I'm going to dump it safe in the lake. I'm not going to dump it into the chickie hut where people are running around, into the parking lots. I'm going to dump my airplane before, as soon as I know I have a problem. I'm either going to bring it back directly, or I'm going to dump it. You need a backup plan. Has anybody done a post-mortem? You know, when we had, Tony and I had a big accident out there. It was a beautiful Corsair. God, it broke my heart.
But it was good.
But we did a post-mortem on that whole thing to find out what occurred. Reconnect the battery, reconnect everything that you have left. And you see if you can't determine what happened.
The battery was good. I checked the battery, it was good.
Interesting.
So the plane just started flipping on you?
Yeah.
And that happened with my child.
I tried to put it in back in the pattern because it was over the paint, and it is scratched right on the side with engines.
You didn't hurt the new roof though, right?
Don,
You missed the chick.
that happened with my Giles. When I did a post-mortem, I checked the battery out, and the battery checked good. Scotty and I cut it apart and checked each cell individually. We had one bell cell.
It'll do it.
Like he told me, your battery pack's only as good as your worst cell. And it went berserk.
As soon as you drop down below 4 volts, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right to do a post-mortem. You got to figure out what
And
happened.
that's another thing. People are going out there and leaving their batteries on charge overnight, coming out, starting their engines, and away they go. Everybody needs to have a battery checker. The first flight that you're taking, you really need, at the field, with the engine running, you need to really do a nice range check with that engine running. And then once you're shut down, you really need to do a battery check. Make sure where you are. You may have charged it up for 17 hours the night before, but your Corsair, you were flying. You charged that up 17 hours. I was having trouble with it on the second flight. The end of the second flight, after 10 minutes of flying, the thing was getting squirrely. And I was getting glitches. As soon as I got a little bit out of range, a little glitch all the way around. So I put it on the ground right away. Checked the battery, 4 volts. We were really lucky to get that one back, too. We were really lucky to get it back.
I check my batteries before the first flight, and I check them on the 4th flight. It's not just check once and forget it. You gotta, if you got your plane sitting there for an hour and a half in that sun, you need to check your batteries.
I'm so scared, I check it every time I feel it.
And that's not a bad idea. The other thing, Don, too, is I've talked to a lot of people who do not understand proper battery maintenance and charging. We've got now airplanes with 2,000 milliamp batteries in them, and guys are using 50 milliamp wall chargers.
Yeah.
That will not charge up your 2,000 milliamp or your 1,200 milliamp battery. You need a more powerful charger.
Yeah, thank you for enlightening me on that.
More of that.
Got it right.
Well, it sounds to me battery is a culprit in many cases. In Don's situation with my Corsair, that battery was charged overnight full. Now, I don't know if this would happen, John. Can the battery go down after 1 or 2 flights, like you said?
Absolutely. I proved it by, give you a great example. I had it the other day to one of my transmitters, my 2.4 gig. I was just got done explaining to Mike about it. Sometimes you can read full volts, but if it doesn't have a full charge, your volts are going to come in fine, but it's going to drop off faster than you can imagine. I had 1 flight of my electric. I gave it a quick charge at the house, my little electric, keep it in close. Nobody's gonna see it, who cares, right? And the thing is beeping at me, and I said to Mike, look, it was 11.4 volts when I turned it on, and within 10 minutes, it was at 8.6, and I've now found out I have a bad battery pack. But you can have a fully charged, read 11.4 volts, and everything's great, and it drops off real fast, and that is because I very seldom, the radio I use once in a while, very seldom cycle that battery. If you got NiCads, you've got to cycle those batteries.
Every 90 days, and you really should date them.
I did it once
Date
a
'em,
month.
put 'em right in
I
there.
always take mine the first week of every month. I always just, so I grade them.
Great.
By the way, the other thing you need to think about is the open circuit voltage of a battery can be perfect. But as soon as you put a load
Load on it,
it's done. So
Well-
when you measure the battery,
make sure you're putting at least 250 milliamp load on it.
put some load on.
Well, if you buy an expanded volt beta scale, it puts a drawer on the bottom.
If you have a battery checker,
Checker, it puts
it
a
will put a
drawer.
load.
It mimics as if it was drawer.
Well,
But you can
that's
put as much as 1,000 milliamps. You can put an amp.
Yeah.
Load